Hello and welcome. We're going to paint a watercolour in a toneless style that we're going to use a reference from George Innes, this is an oil painting. We're going to try to recreate some of the drama that's in this scene and see how we fare with watercolour. So don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe, and let's have a go. So I've got to go quite strong with these colours because it's a powerful painting this. So I've painted the sky and the water area here, and luckily I've got some leftover paint that looks like it might suit what we're trying to do. It's handy not to wash the paint off, so careful not to lose all that lovely yellow I've just put on there. Don't mind a few bits of white paper, but that's always good with watercolour. And let's use up some of this leftover paint. Sort that out. So this is wet into wet. So I'm just putting these darker clouds in. So this paper is £90, not the £140, so it's a little bit thinner, which, to be fair, I don't think I'm going to bother buying this thinner paper anymore. That obviously it's slightly cheaper, but I think it's worth paying a little bit extra to get the slightly thicker paper. It's easier to paint on, and I think it's worth investing on the slightly thicker paper. So this is going to be my area of light here. Let's go a little bit of purple. So while it's wet, I can keep working this area. But I need to keep a nice bit of softness in the sky. It's important to get the right what's the word? Tone. That's the word. So that's the hedge there, the distance. There we go. Let's make that a more natural shape. So the paper's starting to dry now, so we'll need to be careful. But it would be good to get these trees in while the paper is still slightly damp. So let's have a go. So not too much water, and we're just going to try and make some of these marks. Make sure I leave plenty of the sky to shine through. Let's put some red in there. Hopefully you enjoy this video and you get something from it. If you do, please do hit that like and subscribe. This is a fairly new channel which I'm trying to grow. Some of you may already know that I've got some other channels, Loose Watercolors with Robert Me and Oil Painting with Robert Me. These are slightly larger channels with all my latest demos. So this channel here is more for sharing other stuff that I do, and perhaps some of my older demos as well, which I think still got some value in them. So let's get on with the video. Let's just experiment with different brushes to get the right effect you're looking for. That's possibly not the right brush. Let's give it a little spray from a distance. Get some darks in here. There's no point trying to paint the branches yet, or the trunks of the trees, because they will just soften too much and disappear. So I don't mind these soft edges for the sort of the bulk of the tree. So don't have to have exactly the right tree shape. Dark here. Some distant trees here. A little bit darker here. So there's no detail as such, it's just, and sort of the study I've been doing with tonalisms, and study being just really just looking at them, and what fascinates me about them is their skill in composition, that they were really masters at getting the composition really good. And watercolour may not be the best medium for doing tonalist work, but we can give it a go. So it's dry here, so I can get a couple of marks in there, and that will give us an idea what we're going to be looking at. So I need to go to a bigger brush to get the foreground done. We need to have a little bit of orange in here. Again, there needs to be softness, clean water. So, green. Let's try and make a nice earthy green. So the paint has dried quite a bit on the palette here. I've been doing oils for the last few days. So I need to squeeze out some fresh paint, I think. We'll try. So I'm trying to mix a natural looking green, so it's got to be quite dark in tone. Let's have a go with that. So it's still damp here, so opportunity to get some wet into wet. And there's no detail as such here, it's just the foreground. This is my lead in to the painting, so I shall keep this area with that lead in there. A fairly thick paint, and let's just put in some bits of detail in here, just something. A few bits of blades of grass and things. Mindful of recurring shapes. I want to create some abstraction. Make a nice dark. So that was just kind of neutral tint with other bits and bobs on the brush. Go real dark against the light there. These are obviously silhouetted. I think we'll close that end of the paper off. With a little spray. So this is where the thicker paper would be easier to work with, because this is quite thin, this paper, that it doesn't like it as much as the thicker paper. just make these more natural looking shapes. These trees, let's make sure this one's a bit bigger. So the eye should go to here once we put those tree trunks in. Let's just splash a little bit of water, just a little bit. So this has now pretty much dried. So let's have a go at putting these tree trunks in. So this needs to be nice, thick, dark paints. This is where you need almost no paint fresh out the tube, that if it's dried and you've got to work it to get it out, you'll never get these darks. Pointless even drying. You need fresh paint. So we've got a nice wiggly one here. Let's not go too thick with them, but thick enough so they look like they're believable. Reload the brush. It's quite an interesting one here. Vary the spacing so they're not all the same space apart. And there's some thicker ones here. And just use a bit of dry brush while this is still slightly damp, just to add connection there to that red. So I think we'll dry that and let's have a look to see what we've got. So this is now completely dry, and with watercolor it is the medium of light that is great for translucent washes. But I've gone quite dark and opaque here, but you can get away with that as long as you've got an area of light. It's not a problem. So the only thing missing now are these reflections in the water. So I need to just dampen that, not too much, and then take again nice thick paint and replicate what's going on above. That doesn't have to be. Perfect. My mind is too complicated to have it all exact. And with reflections you don't want them too neat, so let's splash a bit of something on there. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Please do hit the like and subscribe. Check the link in the description to my other channels, and also I've got membership through my website if you want to watch the videos without adverts, and meet me on a live stream, and we can actually paint together on a live stream as well. So until next time, bye for now.